Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are FC.
It's a cool and cloudy evening in Kansas City, where we come to you from Kauffman Stadium for Game 2 of this series between the Twins and the Royals. Hi, everybody. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler with you. Cool and cloudy is important because that means it's good pitching weather. Jeremy Guthrie has pitched very well for Kansas City since being acquired last July from the Colorado Rockies.
Guthrie means everything to this team. Since he came here and we got him for a pitcher that couldn't win, he's done nothing but win. Saying, jump on my back, fellas, let's go. That's the mentality they need. He's got to be able to shut down the opponents because they're not scoring any runs for him. However, that could change, but Guthrie's numbers are not a mirage. They are the truth, and this team believes in him.
In his 25 starts, his team has won 17 and lost only 8. You see the 3.5 ERA. It's even better at the K at 2.61.
And the way he's getting it done is his body language. He gets the ball. He's got great tempo. He takes the mound, hustles, but once he gets there, he knows what to do. Heavy, hard sinkers, good little breaking ball, 6 punch-outs in his last start against those Cardinals. That's one of the best teams that the Royals have seen all year. That's how he gets it done. And if you want a teammate, there's no one better. Guthrie gives to all.
And that was during that rain delay last Thursday. Hosmer got the big hit. He got the double that won it against St. Louis.
Okay, but who's going to help tonight? They need others. Somebody's got to step up. Tonight's the right night. Let's stay tuned. Hopefully Guthrie can do the job, hold him down, and Haas can go off.
Jeremy knows that Minnesota has been hot. They've won 7 of their last 8 games, and in that span, they're averaging 5.5 runs per game. It's the Twins and the Royals coming your way next.
games in the 3-hole, 17 in cleanup, 20 batting 5th, 7th batting 6th. Those are the amount of games that he has taken in those spots in the batting order. And tonight, for the first time this year, he will bat second. Ned Yost really likes a set lineup, but he hasn't been able to get anybody going, and so he's going to shake things up again tonight, and he will bat Salvador Perez for the first time in his career third, and Eric Hosmer will be second, and he said that he will be looking for situational hitting. Hosmer saying he'll look to see pitches, try to take some walks, play to the situation, try to get on. If Gordon's on second, no outs, move him over to third and hit a ball to the right side, and let Salvador Perez do the rest of the work. Whatever it takes, Royals still looking for offense, and they will do that. Coming up next, I'm Joel Goldberg. Enjoy the game. P.J. Walters and Jeremy Guthrie set to do battle at Kauffman Stadium. Steve Biziak and Rex Hudler have the call coming up.
Lottery. Play the Powerball and Mega Million Scratchers game to win $100,000 or more. And by your Kansas City Chevy dealer, the official vehicle of the Kansas City Royals. And by AT Uverse TV. Check availability at 1800. Pick ATT. Rethink possible. This game is brought to you in high definition by Time Warner Cable, the official TV, internet, and home phone provider of the Kansas City Royals. The Royals hope to end this 11-game home losing streak at the K. Minnesota has been very hot, winning 7 of their last 8 games. And here's the lineup. Ron Gardenhire signed tonight. Escobar will lead things off. Joe Mauer will bat second. He's hitting .332. Then Willingham, always with good power. He has 10 home runs. Morneau, Domet, Parmalee, Dozier, Hicks, and Florimon round out the Twins' 9. On the hill for the Royals, it will be 5-game winner Jeremy Guthrie.
All right, command the strike zone, keep the ball down, locate. Do the same things you did against those Cardinals where you really dealt. Now, Jeremy will be trying to become the first Royals starter in 19 games to post a win. Previous 3 starts, he had a 7.91 ERA, but that's in the past. These guys got to let go of the past. Keep the ball in the yard. Defending behind him, which is going to be a big thing if Guthrie's got his hard sinker down. Alex Gordon has got 6 outfield assists. He's very tough. I'd like to see any Minnesota Twin that hits a double challenge him to try to go into second base. He's been solid. Catch that ball, the ones you're supposed to, and let your reactions take over with the spectacular ones. They're good at that.
And here is James Shields telling everybody to come on in. We're going to get fired up for this one. Play a little hardball.
Whatever it takes.
How about a little football mentality?
Got that right. Talk about it. They're in this together. They can come out of it together.
The Royals are 23-32, dead last in the American League Central. They started 17-10, and they have been just 6-22 since. The Twins, meantime, very hot. A very poor month of April, but 26-29, now third in the American League Central, 4.5 games back of Detroit. The leadoff batter is Eduardo Escobar. He's the young man that they acquired in the Francisco Liriano deal with the Chicago White Sox last year. And Guthrie has him down 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yep, he's mixing them early. A lot of guys, and Guthrie included, try to get that fastball established early. But he wants to mix them up, keep them off balance, stay ahead of guys. Have them finish on your terms, not the hitters.
And it is a cool, comfortable night. Almost no wind here at the K, which means more likely a pitcher's game than a hitter's game. The ball will not carry as much because the cooler temps. Ball 4. Well, that is how the ball game started last night when Jamie Carroll walked, but Luis Mendoza was able to strike out Joe Mauer, get Willingham on a line out, and Morneau on a line out.
And that's after being ahead 1-2. He wants to try to get in there and finish guys off, especially the guys that don't have the real power bats.
Kansas City lost last night 3-0. Joe Mauer takes strike 1.
One thing Gardenhire won't ask Mauer to do, that's move the runner with a bunt. 6 for 13, a couple homers off Guthrie in his career. He'll be swinging. Kane in center field, he's playing to the offside, the opposite field, and that's where Mauer hits the ball. Left center.
Jeremy pitched very well in his last start, but received that no decision in Kansas City's 4-2 win over St. Louis, the game that ended at 3:14 in the morning on Friday. 4-hour, 32-minute rain delay, but he allowed just 2 runs, both in the first inning. Mauer sends that one foul.
He did that by being aggressive, working ahead, and keeping his sinker underneath those powerful bats the Cardinals had.
In that first inning against St. Louis, Matt Carpenter led the inning off with a double. He was able to get the next 2 outs, but Craig got an infield hit to knock in a run, and then Molina and Freese had back-to-back hits to make it 2-0. A swing and a foul tip into the glove of Salvador Perez, so Mauer strikes out.
Okay, just in the end of the fingers of Salvador. Held on nicely. 51st strikeout for Mauer on the year.
Now Josh Willingham went 2 for 4 last night. His batting average only .218, but you can see the productivity. When he hits it, it usually goes far. Escobar does not have a steal this year. He has 1 attempt. And you can see his size, not that big. And he's playing third base tonight.
Jamie Carroll, 39-year-old, is getting a night off over there. Trevor Plouffe still on the disabled list. He's their everyday third baseman, so they've been working a few of the other guys in there at third. As a
calf injury.
Plouffe, Mastroianni, Wilkin Ramirez on the disabled list for Minnesota. Swing and a miss, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. And it was good to see Gerard Dyson working out, running the bases, taking defensive drills, and he's hoping he'll be able to go out on a rehab assignment soon.
Yep, he told me he's pretty close to 100%. I watched him run. I said, hey, all the cylinders in sync.
He said no pain.
And he told me, what did it look like to you, Hud? It looked like you were moving. I could tell by how high that dirt was flying off of your cleats when you were running.
Just barely outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Talk about the importance of Guthrie keeping that ball down. Lefties are hitting .336 with 9 homers. Righties are .209 with 6 against Guthrie this year. He's given up 15 total homers, but he has to keep that ball down. Use that defense. And he did that in his last start.
Close play at first. He's tied with Chris Tillman of the Baltimore Orioles for the most home runs allowed in the American League with 15. And he had that 3-game stretch, Rex, you were talking about, where things did not go well, and he gave up 8 of the 15 home runs in those 3 starts, all losses.
Yeah, a 7.91 ERA. So that's in the past. Everything's in the present here. These guys, mentally, they have to think that way, and that's how you handle life. Same thing as baseball. You come out each day and give it all you got, but they've got to really play with a sense of urgency to get out of this valley they're in.
Kansas City has lost a club record 11 straight home games, and in that time they've scored just 23 runs in those 11 games. Woo. Again, Willingham looked like he might pull the trigger.
Okay, just off the plate, but at 94, the velocity's good.
Let's see if Gardenhire sends Escobar on a 3-2 count. He does, and the pitch is swung on and drilled to right field. Escobar will make it all the way to third, and they're going to send him home. And he will score to make it 1-0.
Okay, it looks to me like David Lowe didn't pick it up. He didn't move when the ball was hit off of Willingham's bat. He stayed there. It's almost like he didn't see it. Okay, fastball down the middle. Willingham knew it was coming. Watch Lowe at the top, up to your right of your screen. He hasn't even moved yet. I don't understand. Maybe he didn't see it. And then you've got to be able to hit that cutoff man. Keep Willingham in order for the double play.
Eric Hosmer cut it off, but he thought he had a play at the plate, so he turned and looked, and by the time he looked back to second base, he had no chance.
Okay, by the time Lowe got to it, a little bit too much height on that ball, so Hosmer couldn't get the trail runner right there. It looked like Escobar, or Guthrie thought Escobar was going to break in there, and he didn't. So he just threw it to him.
When Guthrie has had trouble, it's usually been in the first or second inning. I told you about the 2 runs he allowed against the Cardinals. Both came in the first. Then he shut them out the next 5. Left trailing in the game, but the Royals were able to rally for 3 runs against the Cardinals in the 9th inning. It was a delayed 9th inning, a 9th inning that lasted almost 4 hours because of the rain. But they got it in, and the Royals won 4-2. He's not missing by much. But it's a favorable hitter's count for Justin Morneau, who, despite being a great home run hitter throughout his career, he has only busted 2 this season. Been more of a singles doubles guy this year. Takes a rip, misses, 3-2.
Morneau's a .333 hitter with a runner in scoring position. He's trying to do all he can to put it in play. Wow. Okay, David Lowe didn't miss that, or he didn't see the ball on contact. We're going to show it to you again from a higher angle. Okay, so Lowe is all the way up here. Okay, he's all the way up here. This ball's going to be hit in this direction here. And on contact, Lowe doesn't move. Watch him. Okay, the ball's hit. He still hasn't moved. Still hasn't moved. Still hasn't moved. Now he's coming over to it. So for some reason, he didn't get to the ball. He didn't see it.
And that is why Escobar was able to score all the way from first base. Now the batter, Ryan Domet, who has been incredibly hot the last week. 4 home runs, 13 RBIs the last 8 games. And he hit a home run, also had an RBI single yesterday. So if Guthrie can entice him to hit the ball on the ground at a fielder, Royals might get out of this. But now he's getting his fastball up in a dangerous area for a hot hitter. This is a veteran team. They have a young pitching staff, but really a veteran team. To left field, Gordon will chase it and pull it down right at the foul line. No advance by Willingham. And Rex, when you take a look at it, we were talking about this a little last night. These are guys with thousands of at-bats. Mauer's 29. Willingham is 34. Morneau is 31. Domet 32. You think of all of those years, all of those at-bats experience. And that's what we saw from Minnesota last night, was professional at-bats. Here's one of their younger players, Chris Parmalee, 25 years old, out of Chino, but he is surrounded by the vets. Minnesota's problem has been their pitching, mainly their starting pitching. Their bullpen's been very good, particularly in May and June.
The more veterans, the more service time, the more experience. This game is for the experience. That's why lots of managers, when they break spring training and there's a job open, they'll go with a veteran over they will a young player because he's established.
And George Brett has a line, just do your job. And I think when you're a younger player, Rex, you try and do more than what you're capable of doing.
At times.
In there, 1-2. Guthrie throwing a lot of pitches in this very taxing first inning. 30 pitches, only 16 of those have been strikes. And he usually is a command guy. But I think if he can get through Parmalee, he can feel pretty good about his first. Got it on his hands at 86. The wind picking up a bit and blowing out towards right. Parmalee's had a lot of success in this ballpark, hitting him to right. And again, Jeremy fires it on his hands at 95, and Parmalee fouls it back.
You know, that's a hard running two-seam fastball too. Parmalee looks like he's trying to go to the opposite field, trying to fight that off. I don't know if he has confidence to get the head out on that inside pitch. So maybe you try a different angle here. See how that breaking ball's working.
Oh, man, he is just not getting that corner from Phil Cuzzy tonight.
Okay, Salvi set up out there, and that's exactly where he wanted it. It's up for Jeremy to try to keep his emotions in check, because the 3 starts that he had that high ERA kind of got a little emotional. Umpire squeezed him some. It's important that he controls his emotions.
A breaking ball hit in the air, right side, David Lowe in the corner, and it is a foul ball.
Okay, so Guthrie called Salvi out. We'll talk about what they want to do on this next pitch.
It will be the 35th of this inning.
Yeah, a lot of pitches for Jeremy.
Kind of hung that breaking ball too. Three and two.
Okay, Minnesota got a pretty good game plan on Guthrie. They're waiting him out. Parmalee is a 182 hitter with a runner in scoring position, so that's not a real high number. We can get him a little pop up here. So about now, Guthrie's internally a little bit frustrated. That's what happens when hitters foul off your pitches. And the first inning really is not going like you want to. Guthrie typically gets on that rubber and throws that ball, but he's walking around a little bit.
He walked him.
His body language is a little bit rough right now. He's not showing a lot of confidence, so Dave Island's going to come out.
37 pitches. Barely half of them have been strikes.
This is not the start of this game that they were looking for from Guthrie.
And the Royals used 2 long relievers yesterday. One, Bruce Chen, not available today. He went almost 4 innings yesterday. Hochevar could return. He only needed to get 1 out. So the batter will be Brian Dozier, who had his 7-game hit streak end yesterday, but he did walk a couple of times. Kid from Tupelo, Mississippi, at the University of Southern Mississippi, digs in from the right side, and Guthrie deals the first pitch, and it is low. And I figured Dozier was going to take it, and that Guthrie might hammer a fastball down the middle, but he did not.
Dozier 1 for 4 with them loaded this year.
Popped up right side. Hosmer chasing it, reaching up. Did he get it? Yes, he did. Terrific play by Eric Hosmer to get Guthrie out of trouble in this first inning.
Woo, man, I'll tell you, there's a big sigh of relief. Ned Yost. Yeah, that was beautiful there.
Look at that. He outfought a fan. And here's a look at Ned Yost's starting lineup. Alex Gordon will lead things off, but Eric Hosmer moves to 2, and Salvador Perez goes to 3, with Billy Butler cleaning things up. Moustakas 5, Kane 6, then Lowe, and you've got speed at the bottom in Chris Getz and Alcides Escobar. On the mound, a right-hander, 28 years old, out of Dothan, Alabama, P.J. Walters.
Okay, he's been called up from Rochester, their AAA affiliate. It's the reason he only has 12 innings pitched. But he's got some good movement. He's got a sinking fastball. He's going to go about 85 to 91. He cuts it. He's got a curve, and he's got a very nice changeup.
Gordon pulls the off-speed pitch over to the second baseman, and Alex is the first out. Rex, I wanted to ask you about this lineup. There's so much movement. Hosmer going from 3 to 2. Perez now in a very responsible position at number 3, and speed at the bottom.
Well, Perez, you know, he's been hitting the most consistently here, especially at Kauffman Stadium. So I like the fact that he put him in that 3 hole. He makes solid contact all the time. But Eric Hosmer in the number 2 spot, he's got a nice on-base percentage. He's getting on base a little bit more than Escobar was. So whenever managers are in a situation like they are right now, you're going to tinker. You're going to try to find a lineup that works. And they're going to have to take it to their opponents. Now, they need to be a little bit more selective, see if they can get the pitchers' pitch count up, figure out what's going to be good for them.
Florimon bobbles it and then throws it away, so Hosmer will be safe at first base on the error by Pedro. Only his 5th this year.
Okay, well, he kind of laid back on the ball. He let the ball play him. And then when he's on his heels, then he bobbled it, and then he rushed the throw. Hosmer took the fastball. Again, early in the count, the first 2 hitters have gone down. Though Hosmer didn't make it there to second base with the error. We'll see what Salvi can do here now.
I like Salvador Perez in this 3 spot. He's a guy who really started doing some damage in the month of May, Rex, hitting .369 when his grandmother passed away, and he left the team for 9 games on bereavement list, helping his mom move to the States.
Yeah, you know, he was also last night when his first at bat, didn't waste hardly any time. He hit a line drive to the shortstop, knocked Florimon down. That's pretty good, missing all them days and squaring up that ball.
That's ripped to left. Hosmer will turn third, come home, and tie the game at 1.
Kate, aggressive, looking early in the count on P.J. Walters, who's not an overpowering guy. He's going to give you something to hit, and they've seen plenty of pitchers over the last 13 games that they can hit and they can mop them up, but they've got to be able to connect just like that. It's a good start. Made that error pay.
Now Billy Butler up. They have been pitching around this guy. Now with a runner at first base, they may have to throw to him. And Billy 1 for 3 with a walk yesterday, and his 33 walks are now tied for second in the American League. Prince Fielder of Detroit has walked 35 times. Let's take a look at our Toyota League leaders. And the fewest plate appearances per walk, Billy is right at the top with Carlos Santana at 6.7. Santana and those Indians lost today. Willingham also at 6.7. Yankees top the Tribe 6-4. Sabathia over Kluber.
Yeah, there's his changeup. He's going to throw that any time. He's got confidence in it and pretty good command. With that spot there, that's where you want to put that pitch.
In Walter's last start, he beat Milwaukee, allowing 4 runs on 10 hits, though. Full count at 3-2.
He's a finesse guy. He's going to try to get you to swing out of the strike zone, and it's been working against the Royals offense. But it's time to change it by being selective and trying to wait him out for your pitch.
The Royals are sending Perez, and the pitch is low, and Billy Butler walks for the 34th time.
Okay, take your walk. That pitch was designed for him to swing over the top of it or hit a little ground ball, and he spit on it. That's good. Pass the baton to the next guy. That's what George has been talking about. You don't have to do it all yourself. The guy's not going to give you anything to hit. Don't try to be over anxious and swing out of the strike zone. That's what ends innings, and you hit into double plays that way. That's an excellent walk.
Now Mike Moustakas, who went 0 for 3 last night but hit the ball hard twice. Lined out to right field. That advance came from second to third in last night's 7th inning. The Moose with a 183 batting average. He's only hitting 113 since May 10th.
Okay, so a big hit right here gives him some confidence. And his team possibly the lead.
In the air. Right center field. Parmalee back. Reaches up and makes the catch. Tagging at second is Perez. He'll make it a third. On a warm afternoon, that ball likely would be gone, but Moose got it in the gap. But just not deep enough, and Parmalee is able to pull it down.
Okay, that was a ball that drifted over the middle of the plate. He got up underneath. George is saying, okay, please get out, get out, get up.
Perez now at third.
Boy, did he look passionate there or what?
Love it. Growing up in these parts, Rex, it was unbelievable watching him every day. The passion, the energy that he and the rest of the Royals played with. I mean, there was fear among second basemen in the American League when Brett and McRae were bearing down on them to break up double plays. Lorenzo Cain swings and misses. It's 1-1.
Yeah, they played with a sense of urgency, and their opponents knew it. That's the message, that he's trying to relay to some of those guys is how you play the game, how you approach it every day. You develop a reputation.
Cain got a double last night, but he was left stranded at third base, I beg your pardon. That's when he led off the 7th inning with a double. Moustakas lined out to get Cain to third, but Perez and Lowe both made outs. No runs. It is a 3-1 count. Favorable for Lorenzo. He's always shown very good power throughout his minor league career, but it has been 131 at bats since his last home run, which came April 20th at Boston. And that was a 4-hit game he had against the Red Sox. And he walks. So just like the Minnesota Twins in their half of the first inning, the Royals have loaded the bases. The Twins loaded the bases, and Guthrie was able to get the pop-up from Brian Dozier.
And like Dave Island came out to talk to Guthrie. So is Anderson. Their pitching coach is going to come out. Now the Royals are hitting .302 as a team with them loaded up. David Lowe has his first time up with the bases loaded this year. Typically, you want to look early in the count for something good to hit. Pitchers like to come right in there, especially after a visit from your pitching coach. They want to get ahead of you. So be looking early in the count to try to do something. Keep your focus up the middle, and then just react.
Both pitchers throwing a lot of pitches in their first inning. Guthrie threw, I believe, 37 or 38. Now you have P.J. Walters. After allowing a run, he has walked a couple but has 2 outs.
So the important thing to tell yourself if you're David Lowe, the pressure's on Walters, not me.
Strike one. Lowe hit .340 at Omaha when he was called up from the minor leagues. Dyson went down with the injury. Line drive, that will be a base hit. A gapper to left. Perez will score. Butler will score. Lowe to second. He's safe. 3-1 Kansas City.
Okay, it wasn't on the first pitch. It was on the second pitch. But that's very good thinking right there. He says, Walter's going to try to come in there again. He doesn't respect my power. I don't care. I'm going to just slap him. And there it was. It was up and out of the zone. It wasn't exactly a strike down the middle. You don't have to hit them. It's the mindset. It's being aggressive. With bases loaded and runners in scoring position. Something they haven't been doing at all. So maybe George is in their mind a little bit, saying, hey, look, let's be a little more aggressive. We got to change things up here. Quit being so passive in these situations. So excellent pickup there with 2 outs. Anything they can get now is a bonus.
Getz was showing bunt, pulls it back. Yesterday, Rex, was the 13th time in the last 18 games Kansas City has scored 3 runs or less. And obviously the record not good. 3-15 in that stretch. They've scored 3 runs in the first inning tonight. Runners in scoring position. Kane and Lowe, good speed. Getz had a start on Friday against Texas and had 2 hits.
This is the kind of guy for Getzy that he's been shooting pitchers like this to left field. He's letting the ball get deep to the catcher's glove. That's important. Sees the ball longer. 241 hitter with a runner in scoring position. So what we're seeing here with a couple of walks in this inning is nobody's panicking, nobody's trying to do it all themselves.
His 28th pitch of the inning coming. Chris swings and skies it in the air, right side, a long run for Parmalee. Will he get there? Yes, he does. That is a fine catch by Chris Parmalee. But the Royals get 2 clutch hits. One by Salvador Perez that ties it. The other by David Lowe that gives KC the lead.
Nice.
double and gives Kansas City a 3-1 lead. Steve Physiok along with Rex Hudler. We're now joined by the Duke, John Wathen. And, John, you want to talk about this big auction that's coming up on Friday.
Friday night. I think everybody's heard about it. We've done it in the past, but we've got a special one this year. In the past, there was a sweet night with George showing up for a while, and that was nice. But this year, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to have lunch at Capitol Grill. Because of George's new responsibilities, we can't have a dinner deal because we're in town playing that night. And whoever bids on that is the lucky winner gets to have lunch with George Brett. And the unfortunate part about the whole thing is it's lunch with me, too. I'm going to be there.
No, but here's what the great thing is. This is what I love so much. If you love baseball, to sit with John Wathen and Jason Kendall and George Brett and hear them tell baseball stories, I'm telling you what, whoever gets that and wins that, it's going to be a lifetime of memories.
Well, I have some George Brett stories, and he has some on me, so it should be pretty fun.
There's a lot, though, you can do with that, too.
Yeah, you got they're going to get a photo with George during batting practice, come out for batting practice, and then 6 crown seats for that night's game, and the fireworks, of course, after the game on Friday night. It's going to be at the Capitol Grill. Those people at the Capitol Grill were nice enough to put this on for us. It's going to be quite a deal. July the 3rd, day before the 4th of July, so you can kick off your 4th of July the day before.
And that's the Royals Charities broadcast auction Friday, June 7th during the Fox Sports Kansas City broadcast. And for more information, as Jeremy Guthrie dials up his second strikeout, he got Joe Mauer back in the first inning as he strikes out Aaron Hicks. Looking here, a little late sinkage for the strikeout.
How about the fantasy camp?
Fantasy
You'll be a part
camp.
of that too, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I'm there every year. They're stuck with me.
That's a fun deal. That's fun for fans. Tell them what it's about.
Well, a fantasy camp this year. We got a fantasy camp at the auction. We're going to have 5 days and 5 nights. For those of you who don't know, it's January 20th to the 24th. 5 days in Arizona at our spring training site.
Pedro Florimon to center field. Go ahead, John.
Airfare is included with this, hotel and 2 personalized uniforms, and you can check it out on Royals.com fantasy camp. From what I understand, talking to my lovely daughter Dina, who handles this fantasy camp, also if they want to bring a friend, they're going to pay for the airfare as well for them if they want to go too. So it's
that's
a spot,
nice.
and plus you get to pick what team you're going to be on. Now they might want to be on Brett and my team. Brett and I have had a team in the past. He thinks he's the head coach and I'm his assistant, but I really do all the coaching.
There you go.
So now, what are the age groups with these folks?
Well, the fantasy camp is over 30, so that's kind of limited. But the age group for lunch, everybody can eat lunch. You can be whatever age, right?
That's perfect. You know, it's not a dinner because of the George's responsibilities, like you mentioned. So it's going to be on July 3rd.
July 3rd. Jason Kendall, former great catcher for the Royals, who got 17 years in the big leagues. He's got some stories too.
Yeah,
He's a great guy.
It'd be great to be at a table next door or a fly on the wall to hear some of those stories.
Man. I've got some on George too. Some that he probably doesn't want me to talk about. But it'll be fun. Again, July 3rd. This is for Royals Charities. It's a big deal every year.
John, that's the final out. Can you stick around for a little?
Sure.
We'll come back with John Wathen and talk about the Royals Charities broadcast auction coming your way on Friday. at the Royals lineup of bats you can get at the Royals Charities broadcast auction, which comes your way on Friday. 18 bats signed and authenticated from guys like Escobar, Kane, Butler, Moustakas, Francoeur, Getz, Perez, Tejada, on, and a bonus George Brett autograph bat. Some of the pitchers even signed some bats as well.
I didn't see a Rex Hubbard bat there anywhere.
Well, those are all broken.
Yeah, they're broke, and they're trying to raise money. No one's going to pay for one of those.
But how about this? There will also be a Miguel Cabrera and Carl Yastrzemski autographed Triple Crown jerseys. The last two men in Major League Baseball. There's Yaz, who did that back in the late 60s, and, of course, Miggy Cabrera, who nailed it down last year at the K.
And might even win another one this year.
Oh, my gosh. What a player. Here is Alcides Escobar. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes with Kansas City leading 3-1. Yaz, of course, in 67 was able to win the Triple Crown. Cabrera was the first player to achieve that milestone since. And again, knocked foul. Royals sent 8 men to the plate in the first inning and scored 3 runs. And, John, because you've known George Brett for such a long time, what do you think of the move, and what can he bring to this struggling offense?
Well, as you know, Steve, passion, number one. The art of hitting from Charlie Lau that he came up with. George was a tremendous player, as we all know, but, I mean, I don't think a lot of people know how hard he worked at his craft. Everybody thinks that a lot of professional players just go out there and it happens. Occasionally it does to certain people, but I saw how hard George worked to get where he was. He wasn't a great hitter in the minor leagues. He hit about 280, I think, in his high year. Came up very, very young, and I'll tell you what, he just knows how to play the game and knows what it takes to win. And he's going to instill that on these guys. It's going to take a while. We've been in a pretty good funk here for a while, as everyone knows, and it doesn't happen overnight.
John, you've been through funks like that as a manager. You witnessed it, and as a player, do you have any? Can you share with the people what that's like? I mean, it's hard to. It's hard to figure that out.
I never saw this. This is a new one for me. I don't think I've ever seen an entire club, basically, except for 1 or 2 players, struggle this long offensively. Normally, it's for a week or so, but this has been going on for a few weeks now, and it's really different. I've had 10-game losing streaks throughout my career as a manager and as a player, but this thing is baffling to everybody. Everybody's trying to find the right answer, and nobody really knows what we can do.
And that's why I thought there was a key line that George Brett used when he was named the interim batting coach. He said, there were times in my career when I was struggling that I had to force myself to have fun. And I thought that was a key sentence that he said about forcing himself to have fun.
Well, as Rick says every single night, it's pretty easy to have fun when you're wearing a major league uniform, and it's a privilege to wear it. I don't think sometimes a lot of players in the big leagues and even in the minor leagues realize what a pleasure it is and how much fun it is, and they don't have as much fun as they should. I think they just kind of take it for granted sometimes. I've told players, I had to release Bo Jackson when he got hurt with a hip injury, and I've told players that story all the time. He looked like he was going to be in the Hall of Fame. And all of a sudden, he's not playing anymore. He didn't get to put that uniform on anymore. Brief time afterwards with the White Sox and Anaheim, I believe. But, I mean, it's such a thrill to be able to be out there on a daily basis. You shouldn't have to tell kids about that. I think sometimes they don't realize how special it really is.
But also it's intense. John, I always wanted to ask you, you were sitting next to George that famous day when they checked his bat. Okay, let's check you out. You're in that dugout
with
in there.
With wearing the afro,
okay,
long curly hair.
Yeah, we're going to show you. You're sitting next to George. You're right there. There you are. Okay, you're right here. Okay, and when George took off, what were you thinking?
Well, I have to admit, I kind of set that whole scenario up. When McClellan comes over with the bat, and checks home plate, and then he starts the dugout, George says, "What is he doing?" And I said, "He's going to call you out. Your pine tar's a little bit too high, I think." And he says, "No way," with some other words mixed in.
Yeah, look at you in the background.
And so I kind of set the stage for all that, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, so that set King George off, and there you were saying, "Oh, wait a minute!"
And you're not following him that quickly.
I couldn't. I've never seen him run so fast in my entire life. I've known George since he was 19, 18 years old. We played together in the minor leagues, the big leagues, and I got the opportunity to manage him. So I'd never seen him. I'd seen him explode a few times, but that was the best.
Eric Hosmer takes it outside. The count is 3-2 as Walters tries to tease him outside that strike zone. George next to Ned Yost. The Royals scored 3 in the first inning, but Walters has gotten Escobar to pop up and Gordon to ground out. Foul back. And again, the Royals Charities broadcast auction will come your way Friday, June 7th, fan, during the Fox Sports Kansas City broadcast. The ultimate game day experience with George Brett, John Wathan, Jason Kendall for lunch. There's a ground ball struck to short. And John, thank you very much. We will continue to promote this.
Please do. I appreciate it, Steve.
John,
Thank
you're
you.
the best, man. Hang in there. Thanks for
Hal.
coming up.
All right, buddy.
Appreciate it.
We'll be right back. George Brett has been hired to work with the hitters, and we asked Ned Yost, what is George's mindset for the Royals offense?
George's mindset is that these kids all have the mechanical ability to hit a baseball. If they hadn't, they wouldn't be here. This is the big leagues. They've all worked themselves up, and they've all been productive through each and every level of the minor leagues to put them here. So mechanically, talent-wise, they've got it. All right. George's focus is up here. And George, as a hitter, was really smart because he knew what a good swing feels like. All right? So he's trying to get them to understand what a good swing feels like so that when they take a good swing, they know. When they take a bad swing, they know, and they're able to make an adjustment.
And that's what this game revolves around, adjustments. Tremendous job by Nate Bukaty. I grew up in the area here. He's a KU grad. He's really on top of his game. That was a special interview that he was able to bring Ned out like that. And he's right. Hosmer, I think we got a man there.
Mauer to left field, and Gordon will reach up and pull it down for out number 1 of the third.
In 2011, when Eric Hosmer got here, he played in 128 games, 523 at-bats, had 19 home runs. So, you know, if you look at that, you're saying, you know what, that's a nice sample size. The next year, we'll see what he gets. He played 152 games and was off a little bit with his home runs with 1460 RBIs, but still, those are large enough sample size that this kid is going to have a nice career. Okay, it hasn't happened this year so far, but doesn't mean it's not going to happen. They have the ability, just like what Ned was saying. And Moustakas, with his 20 home runs last year, and the way he plays third base, he's a future star third baseman. He's hit a terrible rut this year early. And, you know, it's up to the management who control the day-to-day business to decide what they want to do. I mean, they've said that they haven't seen any frustration, or they haven't seen the fact that Moose is down on himself. And look, if they find that as an issue, they'll send him back, I'm sure, just like they did Gordon. But so far it hasn't happened. They got to give George a little time with these guys, see if he can help them out.
Rex, all that is accurate. But what do you do to correct an Eric Hosmer who does have a rather long swing?
Try to shorten him up and try to get him to feel right. Just like
How do you do that?
Well, you go in the cage. You start flipping balls to him. You keep it simple. You might get a tee. Get the tee out and say, I want you to take your hands right to the ball, and I want you to keep that leading shoulder, that right arm of yours, keep it closer to your rib cage. That's going to help you snap and turn on that inside pitch. So there's things that you do behind the scenes, in the cage, during batting practice on the field. And then when the game comes, don't think. Do all your thinking in between times. And Willingham gets hit again on a pitch that barely nicked him.
And it almost looked like he talked the umpire into believing that he was hit by the pitch. I wasn't sure if Cuzzy was going to call it until Willingham said, "Oh, it got me."
Yeah, that's the second night in a row he's gotten grazed by a pitch. And when the catcher catches it, that's why it's in question. Typically, if you get hit, the catcher's not going to be able to catch it.
Guthrie had retired 5 straight since a rough first inning when he suffered 3 walks, gave up a run, had the bases loaded, and Eric Hosmer helped him out by making a marvelous catch, reaching into the stands and taking the ball away from a fan, getting out of a jam. That's rolled towards third. Moustakas tough play, and he has no chance to get anybody. Will be an infield hit now, first and second for the Twins.
I don't think Moose got a grip.
I don't think he had a chance either. I mean, I looked down when Morneau was only about 8 feet from the bag. He had to come a long way.
Yeah, he was playing over there in that hole at shortstop. He catches it. He's not sure he had a grip or didn't want to throw it. It's some light rain coming down right now, and you can see he didn't quite have the grip that he wanted. And you throw that ball down the right field line, and there's more trouble.
Now he still has the double play setup, but the hot Ryan Domit is the batter. Flied out to left field his first time up.
Keep it down on him and let him do that.
Oh, what a play by Chris Getz. They get the force at second base, and Getz just saved a run.
Okay, that's what you want. Keep it down. You know a hot hitter's going to hit the ball hard, but that ball was laced. One hopper. Getz got the sure out. That's all you want. Get to your feet and get one out for sure. Escobar's able to get out of the way, and then he also peeked up to see if Willingham was over running third base.
Nice play by Chris.
To pick me up there.
First and third for Minnesota. Domit at first, not really a threat to go. He just has 1 steal this year. Popped up right side. Getz calling off everybody. Ends the threat. Minnesota has left 5 runners in the first 3 innings. seat. Sister Vicki is the founding president of Crystal Ray Kansas City High School, a school that offers a college prep education enhanced by a corporate work-study program. And since the first year in 2006, Vicki is proud to say every student has been accepted into college, and over 70% are still in school. How about that? That is tremendous. And she's a member of the Sisters of Charity of Leavenworth, and she served as a teacher, a principal, a superintendent of schools, and executive director of Home for Emotionally Disturbed Children. She has made a lifetime of giving.
Boy, man, you know, that's a lot of accolades.
Wow.
It's a tremendous impact on your community.
Well, anybody who sits in that Buck O'Neill legacy seat has given a lot to this Kansas City community. There is a line smash that goes by the third baseman Escobar, and that's the second well-struck ball by Salvador Perez. Let's go down to Joe Goldberg.
Well, that's an impressive woman in the Buck O'Neill seat. And Salvador Perez was talking to me today about two extremely impressive and important women in his life growing up. And, of course, that would be his mother and his grandmother, the two ladies that raised him. And he was reflecting back on his late grandmother with me today. And, you know, he said that his mom, Yilda, she took him to baseball games on Saturday and Sunday, but she was out cleaning houses on Monday through Friday during the week. So it was his grandmother, Carmen, who was doing the cooking, was washing the clothes, was taking him to school, was disciplining him if he did something wrong. And he said that when he would be out late with friends, or even when he came back home from professional ball back to Venezuela and come back home late at night a little bit, and it would be his grandmother staying up late, cooking his favorite meal for him. And so he misses his grandmother. He's excited to have his mom here in the United States. And that smile passed down, guys, from grandmother to mother to son.
Joel, thank you very much. A terrific story as Billy Butler now comes through with a base hit just by a diving Escobar. The Royals now with 4 hits in the game, but that was such a tough 9 days for Salvador Perez because it was a shock when his grandmother passed. He had to fly back to Venezuela, not something that's that easy, and he wanted to bring his mom back to the States. He's done that to Kansas City. Now the Royals again have P.J. Walters on the ropes. Moustakas almost hit one out his last time up. He drove Parmalee to the deepest part of the right center alley. And he caught that baseball just to the left of the 387 marker, and Moose gets way out in front of that off speed.
Hey, that's a good idea. First pitch swinging again. Even though it's a breaking ball a little bit out of the zone, he's being aggressive. He wants to knock in a run. And Walters try to get any early strikes on you without swinging.
Back-to-back hits to open the bottom of the third. Moustakas hits it sharply, and it looks like they've got 2. They do, and Perez will move to third base.
It's okay. Twice he's hit the ball hard. It was off the end of his bat that time. You can't control that always. So nice to see Moose walking back to the dugout with his head up. And not much you do. Salvi had to freeze on that. Wasn't sure if he was going to catch it and double him up. There's still a runner out there. Chance for Kane to get him in. He had a walk in his first at bat, and that nice first.
Royals had a big 2-out hit in the first by Lowe. And now Kane, though, goes after the first pitch and pops it up into shallow center. And Dozier falls down but catches the baseball, and the early threat is turned back by KC. K. Pre-game activities include a fashion show courtesy of Macy's, dueling pianos, mini makeovers, chocolate fountains, and much more. Plus, the first 10,000 ladies will receive a pink KC cap courtesy of KC Chevy dealers. The night benefits the American Heart Association. Go Red for Women. For more details and VIP packages, go to Royals.com/Girls Night Out. Jeremy Guthrie begins his 4th inning of work. He's already thrown 61 pitches. 39 of those came in a rough first inning where he allowed the 1 run. He'll face Brian Dozier, Aaron Hicks, and Pedro Florimon. Dozier playing much better baseball. We remember him playing a few games at short last year, Rex, and he did not defend well. They moved him to second base, and he's really taken off.
Well, there's a lot less responsibilities at second base, and mainly it's that throw that you have to deal with. You have to be very consistent with your arm slot, your footwork, on every play. And to be a shortstop in the big leagues, you got to make that routine play 10 out of 10 times, or at least 9 out of 10 times. You can't miss. So everything has to be just right. And if it's not, they'll move you, especially if you're a productive hitter. They can find a place for you. He's kind of a scrappy ball player and plays hard. That's what you like. Gardenhire's type of guy.
And he slaps it foul. It's beginning to mist here at the K. And who is this more difficult on, the hitters or the fielders?
I'm going to say a little bit of both, is because that bat gets moist. They're always trying to dry it off. Fielders can have trouble looking up at the sky. Look at Escobar attacking that ball.
And he throws out Dozier nicely.
Coming right after that. That's what you do. You play the ball before it plays you. Escobar has great footwork and knows that you got to attack the ball.
Fans get downloads up to 50 megabits per second with Time Warner Cable Ultimate Internet. Guthrie is topped out at a commanding 95 miles an hour. P.J. Walters at 92. The only hit since the first inning that Jeremy has given up was an infield hit by Morneau. That was only because Moustakas was playing so far back and towards the shortstop for the pull-hitting Morneau.
Okay, now we've also watched Guthrie change his speeds dramatically. He'll throw almost like an eephus pitch, maybe once, maybe twice during a game, to go along with that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Throw him off. And then, like we talked about, Fizz, with that misty atmosphere that up in the sky like that, hitter, a fielder, he's waiting for that ball to come down, and sometimes it can be hard to pull out, especially this time of night.
Yeah, this is when the twilight makes that baseball look. The sky is almost the same color as the baseball. We saw David Lowe have a difficult time. He finally was able to find the baseball, race over, make the catch last night. Hicks swings and misses. He is down in the count 1-2. Struck out looking his first time up.
This changeup really offsets the timing. That's a beautiful pitch. It's an equalizer. Could double up with it here, or might just stay away. He did.
Wow, he went with it at 85 miles an hour, and it just died at the end. Hicks had no chance. Strikes out for the second time.
It's 53 strikeouts for Hicks. That's an alarming number for a guy with his type of talent.
Remember, he only played Double-A last year.
You're right.
Made that jump.
He's young. Well, young players, it's a hard learning curve for most of them. Very few guys can do what Mike Trout's done, the kid Harper. Those guys make it hard for all of the other young kids that come into the game. Those are very few exceptions.
There's a nice bunt try. Nope. Base hit for Florimon.
Yeah, that's perfect technique there. Great placement. Make that first baseman vacate and you got it. You beat that pitcher to the bag 10 out of 10 times from the left side of the box.
And Rex, I'll give you a great example of what you're talking about. For years, Philadelphia has been hearing about this young man, Dominic Brown. He struggled mightily in the minor leagues and then was on the roller coaster back and forth from the majors to the minors. Well, today he hit his 18th home run, and we are in early June.
Great. Can we get him?
Well, Philadelphia's got him, and they won 6-1 over Miami today. They're going. And I thought Escobar was able to tag the foot, but I guess not, as the second base umpire Chris Guccione calls Florimon safe on the steal.
7 for 7 now. Then he missed him. I'll tell you before he even tagged him, or attempted to. That foot. Now that was an accident. As Florimon's foot, he kind of pulled it up close to his backside, and that avoided the tag. So that's a lucky slide there. He would have been out. See how his foot came up, and that's where Esky was going to tag him.
Now he's got to go get Escobar here. Escobar scored the only run with a walk in the first inning, scoring on Willingham's single. 3-1 Kansas City as they scored 3 times in the first. Clutch 2-out double knocked by David Lowe that broke the 1-1 tie. Escobar just 24 years of age, out of Venezuela. Each team playing an Escobar from Venezuela tonight. That's a name like Smith and Jones in Venezuela. This should do it. Getzy will take care of him. Nice job by Jeremy. After he gave up a run in the first, he has shut out the Twins the next 3. To the Panera Way, live consciously, eat deliciously. And by Steel, available exclusively at a servicing Steel dealer. Visit steeldealers.com. And by Ford, see the new F-150 at your Midwest Ford dealer today.
Steel used to make my gloves.
What a surprise.
Yep. It was clank here, clank there.
Well, we've got rain falling here at the K. Royals with a 3-1 lead. Those gloves are leather, and one of them is gold. Twice. That would be Alex Gordon's.
Got that right.
David Lowe broke the 1-1 tie with that two-run double in the first when he gapped one to left center field.
Three runs is nice, but how about getting a little greedy? Give the pitching staff some breathing room. Mount another attack.
The Royals have not scored more than 4 runs since May 21st at Houston. That was that 7-3 come from behind victory when they scored 7 runs in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Lowe fouls it off left side. Hey fans, just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. David Lowe out of Akron, Ohio. Former 10th round pick by KC. Now up in the big leagues after hitting .340 at Omaha. And there's a shot to right center field. That ball will drop. And David is 2 for 2.
Okay, with a moist grass here at the K, Trevor turf is what we call it. That ball will skip sometimes. And Parmalee did a nice job on that, because sometimes when that ball's hit on the low line like that, a really excellent stance right here for Lowe. Really a good balanced swing. That ball sometimes will skip by him, but he's able to have his glove in the right spot.
Rex, this is one of the reasons that I like Getz and Escobar at the bottom of the order. There's a lot of things you can do with these guys. You can hit and run, you can bunt, and then you have speed in front of Alex Gordon, who could see a lot of fastballs.
David Lowe's no slouch either. He can run.
Exactly.
So you got 3 guys down at the bottom that can run, along with Gordon. So you have to manage what you have. They have speed, and they can put some things together.
And this is an action unit you've got with Lowe and with Getz, and all of a sudden Ron Gardenhire's wondering, are they going to hit and run? Are they going to straight steal? Getz is also a good bunter, and they pitch out.
It's because the Royals are in the mind of Gardenhire, and they're in the mind of the defense that's out there trying to defend behind Walters. Walters, he got taxed in that first inning, but since then, he's been very efficient.
Strike on the outside corner. It's 2-1.
So you see Walters wiggle that glove as he gets ready to deliver that ball. He's trying to get the hitter off of his grip, trying to trick him, deke him a little bit.
Walters trying to work that outside corner just in case the Royals put something on. And this is a good hit and run count. Eddie Rodriguez flashing the signs to Chris and to David Lowe. Morneau is holding him. Big hole between first and second. He did try and pull it, but it looks like 2. It is a double play. Fans, join us for the summer fireworks this Friday versus the Astros. Stay after the game for a fireworks show courtesy of Hy-Vee and Pepsi. Plus, it's a newly added Buck Night. Hot dogs, peanuts, and small soft drinks are just $1. Go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets for summer fireworks and Buck Night. Talk about fun. It is. Right here at the K. The Royals Charities broadcast auction is also this Friday during our Fox Sports Kansas City broadcast. John Wathen was with us in the booth. There's a shot to right field, and that ball will drop and roll to the wall. Escobar with great speed. He may go for 3. He will, and make it easily.
That's Alcides' first triple of the year. Seems like we've seen him leg out a few of those earlier this season, but that's his first. And with 2 outs, it's still a work. Fastball. He stayed inside of that and pushed it down that right field line. He was intending to do that. That's a beautiful swing. Some guys are trying to pull that down the third base line, but not Escobar. He can leg him out. He had 7 last season. He had 8 the year before that. So, but just his first. See if Gordon can pick him up with a 2-out knock.
Alex has really been off with his timing against P.J. Walters, who twice has had him reaching for the outside pitch, and he's grounded out to second base. Alex just 5 for 27 since that 3-hit game he had in St. Louis on Wednesday.
Just a little bit anxious. He's trying to do it too much. And that's what you do. You swing at pitches that you don't typically swing at. See how he's drying his bat? Don't just worry about that. It's hard enough to square one up. There's moisture on it, you foul him back.
Took a shot at left, out of play, 2-2. The inning started well with a base hit. But Getz trying to pull the ball into the hole between first and second. Got it too far to the left, and it wound up a 4-6-3 double play. Escobar just tripled. In there, strike 3 called.
Little bit too close. The runner at third.
Of Casey Rockhurst, Big John Mayberry's son, John Mayberry Jr. Homers in the 10th to tie the game last night, and then a walk-off grand slam to win it in the 11th. First walk-off grand slam by a Philly since Dale Murphy in 1991, and that inspires our Sprint Unlimited answers. Most exciting game in the majors last night. Marlins versus Phillies, Mayberry. Rangers, Red Sox, 12 extra base hits for Boston. D-backs, Cards, Goldschmidt with the go-ahead in the 14th. Or Padres, Dodgers, Yasiel Puig going deep twice. And so we should show you that one in just a moment, too, because remember, Fizz and Hud, that we told you last night about the debut of the young Yasiel Puig, defected from Cuba last year in May, signed a $42 million contract as Joe Mauer is going to fly out to Lorenzo Cain. So what did Puig do in his second game in the majors? Well, he homered once.
Oh, look at that bat flip.
Crushed it. He's young. And he homered twice. 5 RBIs. He's 5 for 8 to start his career. They're saying that he looks like a young Bo Jackson. Wow. One of those home runs went 439 feet.
We got to get ourselves a Puig.
What a nice fluid swing. He one-hands it. He looks pretty good. My vote's still Mayberry, man. I love that guy.
I'm going with the local kid and Big John's son.
Me too. Big John, wow, they don't come any better. And what a joy he's got to get to watch his son hit a walk-off grand slam. Sweet.
I got to look and see how many 2-homer games Big John had.
There you go. I bet he's had a handful of them, maybe more.
Bet he didn't homer in the 10th and 11th inning of the game.
Willingham has singled the drive in a run and been hit by a pitch. Rocketed to left field. John Mayberry still holds the Royals record for most home runs by a left-handed batter with 34. The all-time mark by a right-hander by the name of Bye Balboni.
Big John
Balboni did that in 1985.
I bet Big John, out of them 35 that year, took several of them for a drink in the fountain.
Oh, yeah. He was strong.
Pretty good poke.
Hey, Fizz, 21 times Big John had a 2-homer game. Woo. Actually, I should say 19 times because 2 times he had 3-homer games.
Wow. Skills.
Those were the glory years.
Skills, man. Big John.
And a good basketball player, too. You guys know that?
I can only imagine because he's an athlete.
I never saw him play, but I heard that he was a very good basketball player.
He still plays, although Monty and I asked John Mayberry Jr. about that when we were in Philadelphia, and he said, yeah, I've seen him play. It's a lot slower than what he makes it out to be.
Big rip by Morneau, and Jeremy Guthrie strikes him out. Strikeout number 4 in the game for Guth.
All right, still, though, he is doing what his teammates have expected of him. Keep them in the game. And that's what he's doing. Keep the ball down here because Doman is still on fire.
And he was robbed of a hit on a great play by Chris Getz in the 3rd inning.
Right. That's why, even though he's been out 2 times, he's been up. He got all over one. Same thing, down.
Center field. Kane has it measured, pulls it down. That will do it for the Twins in the 5th. They leave another. Hosmer, Perez, and Butler coming up for your Royals. Experience at the ballpark when the Royals play the Astros. The first 10,000 fans will receive a retro powder blue jersey presented by Fox Sports Kansas City. Go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. And there's Big John in the powder blues. Going deep. Well, here's Eric Hosmer. He's reached on an error and scored. and grounded out. And he sends that one foul.
Big John didn't play the elements. Look what this pitch is. He's in Yankee Stadium. He's looking to pull on that porch. Yeah, that ball's on the outer half, and he says, I'm going to pull me one. That trot. Confident.
It stays up. Willingham was fighting it. It looked like it might have gotten up in the lights, but he comes out and makes the catch for out number one. Salvador Perez is 2 for 2. Line single that drove in a run. Then he scored on the 2-out double by David Lowe in the first. That's when KC scored all their runs. The Twins took a first inning lead on Willingham's single that scored Escobar. The Royals came back with 3 because of Perez and Lowe's RBI hits.
How about this weather? Last year, they couldn't buy a raindrop. This year, it's everywhere. Nice to see the tanks fill up. It's good to get some water.
You should have seen Coffee Creek out where we live. Man, it was overflowing last week. 2-0 is in there, 2-1. While we were in St. Louis, they got hit hard. Salvador with a drive left center field. And making the catch up against the wall is Aaron Hicks.
Tell you what, you talked about how difficult it is when it's raining outside for an outfielder. Look at him, he's wiping his eyes. Your eyeballs, you know, you can't be blinking when you're running to catch that ball.
And Rex, at the start of this game, we said it's cool and cloudy, a pitcher's day, and it certainly has been.
But, you know, you want to get promoted like the kid P.J. Walters. You got a deal when you're in AAA. He had 6 starts for the Red Wings since April 21st. He went 4-0 with a 2 ERA. He only gave up 1 home run, 10 walks, 33 strikeouts. That's how you get a promotion. You let your ability do the talking.
And this was a guy who was the Cardinals' 11th round pick in 2006 out of the University of South Alabama. Slow roller to short. And they're not going to get Billy Butler. He'll get an infield hit.
All right. He deserves it. He didn't get many infield hits. But Florimon, whenever you're coming in, you try to use your bare hand on a wet turf. You are taking a big chance. Almost better off gloving it, especially with Billy's speed. He had plenty of time to use his glove and make that play, but Billy will take.
Good point.
Yeah, Billy will take the hit.
Rex, you know, in these conditions, you made a good point. He had the opportunity to go glove to hand. Got to know the speed of the runners. And here is Moose. The Royals have 7 hits. The Twins have 4. The Royals need to continue to gain distance on these Twins who have come in hot, winners of 7 of their last 8, averaging 5.5 runs per game in that time.
That's still too close for comfort. The Royals do not need a heartbreaker tonight. George is gritting his teeth for Moose. He's hit the ball hard twice, has nothing to show for it.
He was spending a lot of time with Moose around the batting cage during batting practice and the way he wanted him to finish his swing.
This is early, way early today, 2:30. Look at the passion. Look at George. He's working him. George told me before the game, after yesterday's batting practice, it was the first time George had a chance to watch his guys hit on the field. I said, George, what do you think? He goes, after BP was great. 4 o'clock, I never thought we'd have got shut out. He said, but my job is to get these guys to hit at 7 and at 9. And there's a difference, Fizz. Believe me. Batting practice, you can square up balls, you can hit them where you want, because that guy's about 50 feet away from you throwing. The coaches are throwing nice little 4-seam fastballs down the middle. Anyone can hit in the big leagues at 4 o'clock.
But George also loves the fact of getting outdoors, going through batting practice, there rather than indoors.
Yeah, because you see results. You see where the ball carries. You see what it's doing. That's what it's designed for, batting practice. Same way.
He talked about topspin. He talked about hitting a ball the opposite way and the way it was tailing. Get that ball down the line.
Same way a golfer goes on the range and hits the ball. He wants to see the flight, see where it's going, the distance, all that. Very similar.
The 2-2 pitch. A little high, 3-2. Now the Royals will have the opportunity to send Billy from first base.
That's the ball Moose is looking for right there. It's a good thing he laid off. That was a borderline pitch. Moose is telling himself, if you throw me that one again, I'm going to get it. He flew out deep to right center in his first at bat. Then he hit one off the end of the bat that was caught.
Again, way out in front of the off speed at 75 miles an hour. The next pitch will be the 90th for P.J. Walters. He faced Kansas City only one other time in his career. That was September 12th last year, and gave up 6 runs in 4 innings. He's given up 3 and not yet 5.
Get him out of there. You don't want him in that kitchen. Walters might try to come back in there again, see if he can get a swing and miss. Moose is what George wants to see right now, what he's doing. He's competing. He's grinding it out. The water's in his eyes, but he says, I don't care. This is the big leagues. I'm going to battle. I'm going to beat him here. More swings, more foul-offs, more confidence you get, and you wait for Walters to make the mistake. We've seen it before.
He continues to work Moose inside.
He could miss.
Exactly. You make a mistake away, and you can get away with it.
Yep.
Inside, you may pay for it. And that's what the Royals are hoping. So Mauer wants to work him away, and then Moose hits it that way, and a 3-1 will end the inning. We head to the 6th inning here in Kansas City. Royals 3, Twins 1. And trucks, visit thoroughbredford.com today and buy 5-Hour Energy Shots. Steve Physiok, Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery with you at the K, where the rain continues to fall. Kansas City with a 3-1 lead. They dropped the little diamond dry right around home plate, where Jeremy Guthrie will deal with Chris Parmelee, Brian Dozier, and Aaron Hicks. Hitters 6, 7, and 8. Didn't mean to do it, but he rolls it foul. It'll just be strike one. Major League Baseball draft is tomorrow. It's a special day for so many young athletes. The Royals pick 8th, and they have 3 of the top 36 picks. Or is it top 46 picks? But Mark Appel right now and Jonathan Gray look to go 1-2. Houston has the top pick. High and tight.
A lot of lives will be changed tomorrow.
Oh, my. You know, guys who have to make that decision. Am I going to go to college or am I going to go straight from high school to the pros? Fouled off by Parmalee, and he is down in the count 1-2. Appel, the pitcher from Stanford. They say he is probably most ready, but Jonathan Gray, I've been hearing, may have the greatest upside, the pitcher for Oklahoma. Chris Bryant, top college position player, the third baseman from San Diego. Of course, the great high schoolers from the state of Georgia, Clint Frazier and Austin Meadows. Colin Moran, the third baseman from North Carolina. Cole Stewart. A lot of people talking about perhaps Cole Stewart. He's a high school player from Texas going to KC. We'll see. That ball popped up. Shallow left. Moose will take care of it. Boy, he got out there in a hurry. Time for our AT&T trivia question. Here on a wet night in Kansas City, who are the 3 current Major League pitchers that were overall #1 draft picks? We'll give you the answer later in the game. At National?
I'm going to say Hochevar for sure. That's one.
Strasburg?
Yep. We'll let the fans guess the other one.
Strike at the knees. But you're right, Rex. It is such a very trying time. And you were a great high school football and baseball player from Fresno, California. There's a line drive to left field and a base hit for Brian Dozier. And what was that like for you? Because you were the 18th pick by the New York Yankees, and you got the highest bonus ever.
Well, there wasn't any hype then. I went to school regular day, came home, said, "Mom, phone ring?" She goes, "Yeah, the dang Yankees drafted you."
The dang Yankees.
Yeah. And I said, "Really? What'd you tell them?" She said, "I told them they wasted their pick." I said, "Why'd you tell them that, Mom?" She goes, "Well, you know, you had full ride at Notre Dame. I want my son to go to college." I said, "Well, thanks a lot, Mom." And so then, they'll come back. So a week later, Al Rosen showed up at my doorstep.
Base hit by Aaron Hicks.
Ooh, yeah, I want to keep that throw down.
Keep that double play in order.
That's right. Anyway, she was right. They came back, and my mom didn't involve me in the negotiations at all. Because she did it all because if you have an agent, it ruins your eligibility.
Right.
So I went to, she sent me out. She locked the door on me. She told me to come back in an hour. I came back, had a knock on my own front door, and she opened up the door and said, "Congratulations, son, you're a Yankee." So Mom negotiated my first deal and got the highest bonus that Mr. Steinbrenner never paid at the time, in 1978. So my mom decided my future for me.
Your mom told you they signed you for $12 and she took the rest.
Yeah. But, you know, like I said, a lot of these young players have decisions. The only way I was going to turn down that opportunity to get educated at that great football power university was if I was a #1 pick. You never know until the day.
In the air, Kane will be able to run it down.
But every player has a story. They all have their own story, and hopefully we'll be able to capture some of those and share them with you tomorrow. They're very interesting. Some guys had, just got an invite, got $600 assigned. Some guys said, "Hey, look, we're not going to give you anything. We'll just give you an opportunity." And it's amazing how some of those guys are big leaguers now. Stories are endless, and they're great. All of them have one.
And you never know who's going to make it. As a matter of fact, there's a young man who was a 4th-round pick in 2011 for Kansas City by the name of Kyle Smith, who's really been dealing down at Class A ball. 7 strong innings last night. He now has a 1.92 ERA.
So, Fizz, when you take a high schooler, there's no guarantees.
Yeah.
I was so immature and so young physically, mentally. And
has that changed?
Not much mentally. But I was a wash. After 7 years, they traded me. But you know what?
It took them 7 years to trade you?
They gave up on me after 7. That was a long time to stay with a guy. And then I finally grew up and matured and got my 10 years in the majors. So it worked, but not on their time. It just doesn't in baseball. Some guys, it takes longer than others.
Chopper to first. Hosmer gets it to Guthrie, and they get the final out. Good job by Jeremy in 6 innings. Once again, gave him a run in the first. He shut him out the next 5. Really tough on the team, and Ned Yost talks about the Royals' negative body language.
Yeah, you see body language every once in a while because that's the disappointment that they feel in letting the fans down and letting their teammates down. And that's an area we continue to address and continue to work on. Part of being a professional is you continue to fight and stay after it. Body language can't come into it.
Negative body language you try to keep away from. But positive body language is the language you want to focus on. This game revolves around body language. And it's important, especially when you're going bad, that you carry yourself with your head up. You come in that clubhouse with your head up, ready to attack, and that body language permeates. It passes on to your teammates and then onto the field. You run the ball out. You don't pull up 2 or 3 steps from first base. You stay away from fraternizing with the opponents. There's a lot of things that go on that need to be tightened up and addressed here. There's no question about it. That comes with being young. Someone's got to show them the ropes.
Lorenzo Cain will lead things off. And the 6th inning is our Sonic Slam inning, and our contestant is Amy Adamson from Independence. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Amy will win $2,000. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Amy will win $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Well, the Twins have their bullpen busy because P.J. Walters is nearing that 100 pitch mark. Cain fouls it off, and the count goes full 3-2. This is an inning that has been productive for Kansas City this year. Their number 1 inning that they've scored the most runs is the 5th. They've scored 35 runs this year in the 5th, 30 in the 3rd, and the 3rd most productive inning is the 6th with 24 runs. Fouled off.
Get P.J. Walters out. It's got to be this inning on the minds of the Royals. They've got to be able to find a way. And, you know, I could fill up a lot of time talking about the importance of body language.
Kane to center field. Hicks there. 1 out. It's time for our AT&T U-verse rewind. David Lowe in the first inning. 2 out. Big hit.
Okay. Pitch up and away, went with it. Timely. Royals desperate for a big hit with bases loaded, or anybody on for that matter. Jumps into second base. Feels confident. The body language there is easy because you're succeeding. But when you're not succeeding, that's when you have to police your body language and not let your opponent know he beat you. That's big. You don't know a lot of these guys. You compete against them. You're trying to beat them. You're paid money to win. And
it goes back to what George Brett was saying. You have to force yourself to have fun in the game.
You do, but you know, when you're between the lines, it's serious business. But
that's what I'm saying.
You can read your opponent when he steps in the batter's box by the way he carries himself. If you don't know the guy's personality, you're going, wow, look at this guy. He looks like he's going to do something here. That's what you want to portray to your opponent.
Dozier has really defended well lately. Only 1 error his last 36 games.
Playing against the New York Mets in Shea Stadium when they had a rock concert going on in the late 80s. Lenny Dykstra would step in that batter's box, and I could see him, and I'd go, wow, look at his body language. Boy, he reeks of success. This guy's going to attack. And, you know, I didn't know he was 0 for his last 15. So the way you carry yourself is going to get in the side of your opponent's head sometimes. And that's why pitchers sometimes, when they drill the batter, they hit him with the ball. I used to like to not let that pitcher know he even hurt me. You don't have enough to hurt me. And
that's what Pete Rose would do. He would be screaming at the pitcher. Is that all you got? That's your fastball?
Yeah, you don't have to yell at him, though. Body language takes care of that. You don't have to use any words, Fizz.
Well, Rose used the words.
Well, he did, but you don't have to. You can just sprint to first base and get over there and be ready to attack and break up that double play, and that's enough body language without even using it, any verbal language.
Here is Chris Getz, 0 for 2 with a pop-up to foul territory. Parmalee made a wonderful sliding catch in the first inning, and then Chris hit into a 4-6-3 double play that hurt the Royals in the fourth because the next batter, Escobar, tripled. The Royals have 3 runs on 7 hits. The Twins have 1 on 6. The Twins have left 9 runners in this game and now 20 in the first 2 games of this series. This is likely Walter's last inning, but he continues to pitch extremely well.
Yeah, and you know, just coming into this game, 12 innings pitched, just 2 walks. The Royals have done a nice job of taxing his pitch count. They're fouling pitches off, and they're getting to a starter's head. They've scored 3 runs off the starter. Typically, they don't score runs till late in the game these last few weeks off the relievers. So Walter snaps at that ball. A little disgusted he gave up the walk.
That is 3 walks that he's allowed. He offered up 2 in the first inning. And now Getz gets the walk, and Chris might be going. He is 3 for 3 stealing bases this year. Escobar is up. Gets to shorten his lead, give Mauer a better chance. As you know, Joe, a past Gold Glover behind the plate with a wonderful arm. All-American quarterback in high school coming out. Getz does not go, and the pitch is down and in, ball 1. We talk about Salvador Perez's size as a catcher, but Joe Mauer about 3 inches taller. He's like 6'6" as a catcher. Getz does not go, and again Eske knocks it out of play, 1-1.
Okay, but you see that approach. Eske, he's looking to slice and dice that right field corner like he did earlier for his first triple of the year. He's waiting. He's waiting. You wait till that ball gets deep where you see it longer.
I thought they'd be sending Chris. Not yet. Good running count, good hitting count on 2-1 here. I believe if Escobar had been hit, they would have gone to the left-hander who's been warming in the bullpen. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Okay, guessing fastball.
This could be P.J. Walters' last guy. They have Thielbar up, ready for Alex Gordon. Three and two.
Another 3-2 count to a hitter. Escobar waiting him out. We're seeing better at bats, no doubt, in this game.
He waves at his breaking ball and strikes out. So Walter's evening likely over, but he trails Kansas City 3-1. We are teaming up to help you stop smoking. For more information, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Here at Kauffman Stadium, the Royals offense remains quiet. They scored 3 in the first inning. Jeremy Guthrie gave up 1 in a rough first inning, and then he settled down to throw 5 shutout innings. Our Chevy call to the bullpen brings on Tim Collins, and he comes out here in the 7th inning, Rex, probably because Guthrie had such a taxing first inning, throwing 39 pitches.
Yep, that was the reason why he's left so early. But still, Guthrie did exactly what they wanted him to do. Come in here and shut the opponent down, keep the Royals in this game, get out of this dreaded losing streak. Now, however, 3-1, this score with a 2-run lead still has a lot of people uneasy. I don't know if it's enough to win. This team's really good. They're going to have to get some more runs. And the emphasis on the bullpen now for the Royals has got to be airtight. They got to pitch like it's their last game they're ever going to pitch. Even though the conditions aren't the greatest, a little bit wet outside, I don't care. Go out there and focus and get your job done. A sense of urgency has got to be evident with these players.
So Tim Collins will face Joe Mauer. We were talking about the Major League Draft taking place tomorrow through Saturday. And Joe Mauer remembers draft day because he was one of the top picks. And the Minnesota Twins were debating a few years ago whether they should take Joe Mauer or a right-hander out of USC by the name of Mark Pryor. Well, you can see, because Mark spent 10 times on the disabled list. He looked like he was going to have a fabulous career, but injury struck. The ball hit to left field, and Alex Gordon makes the catch. Former first-round pick Alex Gordon. And Tim Collins gets the first man out. Our AT&T trivia question: who are the 3 current Major League pitchers that were #1 overall draft picks? We guessed Strasburg and Hochevar.
David Price is the next guy.
All right. You got it. Joel?
Well, this wouldn't be an exact science because I don't know all the scouts that are here, but who would be the highest draft pick not in uniform here in the house? Nothing?
Oh, man. Well, I'm thinking.
I mean, we got some big names here. We got Jeff Montgomery and Dan Gladden and Burt Blyleven.
Wasn't Dan Gladden.
He wasn't drafted, I don't think.
Nope.
Burt?
I don't think it was Burt either.
All right, I'm just going to call the cops on you.
Please do.
It's you.
Hey, well, Joe,
call the cops. Shock the house.
What I'm going to tell you, look at that pitch. Collins brings that curveball in a beautiful time.
I should have phrased it. How many guys were drafted ahead of Cal Ripken in the house?
Well, I might have got that one, but see, that's my only claim to fame. But see, look, you're right, Joel. It's not an exact science like that curveball is.
You know what
I
was doing, Rex?
Look at that curve. That curve is nasty right there. That's a beauty.
Rex, I was racking my brain for all the scouts and the guys we saw up in the media lunchroom going down the list that way.
How about
there might be somebody here too. I was just trying to get Rex a little bit of pub.
Well, we don't need to. We already heard my story, Joe. But I'm going to tell you though, the Yankees hadn't had a first-round pick in 5 years, and they picked me thinking I was going to be a Derek Jeter. There's a wasted pick right there. It happens all the time. Hopefully.
And Joel, if you didn't hear the story, Rex will be at Rivals after the game giving a concert on his upbringing. Yeah.
No, so you know when they flew me to New York to meet George Steinbrenner, and the media in New York took me downstairs in the locker room. The team was on the road, and they took pictures in front of Bucky Dent's locker. Okay, here's the #1 shortstop going to take Bucky Dent's job.
Yo, Hudler, you a bum.
It never happened. But these young guys, like I said, Joe, I'm hoping you guys can get some interviews with some of our Royals and share their stories with the fans and how it changed their life, the draft.
I think I found somebody that was drafted higher than you in the house, Hud. Not in uniform.
Justin Morneau works a 2-out walk.
You were just a little bit higher than what Jason Kendall was drafted overall, 23rd. But how about John Wathan, number 4?
Number 4.
In 1971.
I did not know that.
Hopefully I'm reading that right.
But, you know, I never let Cal Ripken, I never let him live that down.
Here's Jason.
I slid into second base one time. We're playing the Orioles, and the umpire, Ken Kaiser, was standing there. And I said, Ken, can you believe a bootleg player like me went ahead of him in the draft? And Kaiser looked at Junior and he says, Junior, is that the truth? And Cal goes, yeah, but he never reached his full potential. He was right.
Here is Ryan Doman batting from the right side. Important time in this game. 7th inning, 2-out. Tying run at the plate. Red hot Doman, who's belted 4 home runs the last 8 games, including 1 last night. And Salvador Perez comes out to make sure this important pitch is made by Tim Collins. He looked great getting Mauer on a fly ball to left, then struck out Josh Willingham. Walked Morneau on 4 pitches. The rain has stopped here at the K.
Straight changeups work. Big curve looked like it's working, and his mid-90 fastball is working out there. course, it wasn't mid-90, but still, that's a very effective pitch. Anything 90, 92, even that 93, I mean, that's a nice big league fastball, and you can do a lot with that pitch. You can change speeds with it. A lot of variations off the fastball.
Aaron Crow warming in the Royal pen. Again, a little bit late on the fastball at 94, and the count moves to 1-2. Remember, Tim Collins has an excellent straight change that he'll throw to right-handed batters.
Marcel Latzman is a long-time pitching coach. He shared with me one time that the fastball is the most important pitch that a pitcher can have. He can turn that into 4 different pitches.
Curveball.
He can sink it, he can cut it, he can change speeds with it. And nothing frustrates a hitter more than a guy that's changing speeds on his fastball. He makes an out, and he goes in the dugout, and the other guy's going, "What was that?" He goes, "I'm not so sure what that was, but he tricked me."
Willingham down 1-2. Into the corner it goes. Morneau racing to third. He will be held there. Now the tying runs are in scoring position as Domet remains hot.
He got him a pitch up.
I was a little surprised they decided to come inside on Domet, who's been handling everything inside. You see where Salvi was set up.
So Fizz, Tim Collins, he was undrafted out of high school and signed.
And if you look at his high school numbers, they were phenomenal. But once again, the scouts looking at his size. This guy is a great athlete, even though he's only 5'7". But tremendous body control, and right now, Tim would throw that out if he can get this final out of Chris Parmalee. The Twins have left 9 on base. Collins in his high school career, Rex, as a pitcher over 4 seasons went 91-5 at Worcester Vocational High School. Curveball. Ooh, where did that miss?
I don't know, but Collins doesn't match exactly what the physique of what scouts are looking for. So he had to work his way, and he had to impress with his ability. Parmalee is only hitting 194 off lefties. Hopefully he'll keep it down.
Fastball knocked foul. Quite frankly, I thought that breaking ball really caught the outside corner. Instead of a 0-2 count, it is 1 ball, 1 strike. Jeremy Guthrie went 6 strong innings, gave up 1 in the first. Again, a bender that misses high and tight, 2-1. Minnesota has had so many opportunities, but they have not been able to get the big hit. Guthrie worked around so many jams to strand 9.
Hey, that's the one Parmalee was looking for. Now, Collins needs to be a little bit careful here with that location. See if he can.
Would you hook him, even though he didn't get the call from Cuzzy?
Yes, because he had Parmalee ducking in the last one, so he flinched. Might be a pretty good call. Depends on what Salvi feels comfortable with. He's trying to guide him down into the zone with that curve. He missed with the last one, and Salvi gave some body language like stay down, stay on top and down. When you get on the side of that curveball, it flattens out, and it's on a plane where it's more like to get hit.
Challenge him upstairs, but the count is now full at 3-2. This is usually a fastball count.
Yep, most hitters are looking for that. You have to. And then you adjust to anything else. Because you don't want to miss that.
I still might hook him. the fastball. Was able to get it down after showing him upstairs.
And sometimes you take your chances when he hits it at somebody.
Got a baseball. Boy, that baseball brings so much joy to the youngsters. Next step, Royal victory. That's what they want. Again with the fastball. Moose will run out of room as it's about 6 rows up. So that's 3 straight fastballs on a 3-2 count.
So depending on his straight changeup and how he's been feeling for that, that would be a really nice spot here if he could command that down in the zone. He gets a lot of guys with that.
And I think Tim knows that this will be his last batter. If he does not get Parmelee, I think that Ned would go and bring on Crow to face Dozier. Now Salvi wants a discussion. Well, we've gone with that fastball, and he's just fouling it out of play. Chris Getz wants to come on as well to check on the signs. Dave Island to the left, Ned Yost on the right. Tim was not getting the call with the curve, so he's gone back to that fastball.
He's got to be careful. You know, the hitters keep fouling those pitches off. They can catch one.
Parmelee with good power.
Keep it down.
Five straight fastballs. Last night we had a difficult situation with Ryan Domet, who had fouled off 5 straight pitches on a 3-2 count, and on the 6th he rode one out to right center field for a home run.
It's not going to happen here. He's going to execute. Got to come up with a big pitch. He's got him.
Missed. And he walked it. And all this trouble happened after he got the first 2 men out. Here comes Ned Yost, and we will see Aaron Crow to face the right-hander. He was able to get Mauer and Willingham, 2 very difficult batters, quickly, but then a walk, a double, another walk, and the bases are loaded for the Twins, and we will see a pitching change here. Our Chevy call to the bullpen, Aaron Crow.
Okay, get her done.
fun covered with a new triple play pack from the Royals, Worlds of Fun, and Drury Hotels. Book your hotel room at druryhotels.com/triple play, and you'll have the opportunity to purchase Royals tickets and Worlds of Fun passes at a 30% discount. So if you're planning a trip to KC this summer, why not triple your fun with the Boys in Blue, Worlds of Fun, and Drury Hotels? For more information or to book now, go to druryhotels.com/triple play. Aaron Crow comes out of the Royals bullpen, and Ron Gardenhire will counter and bring on Chris Herman, the lefty swinging catcher. Aaron's first pitch, and he knows he's got to find that strike zone because the bases are loaded for the Twins. Lefty's only hitting .222 against Aaron. Two balls and no strikes.
First pinch hit opportunity of the season for this young man.
He's 25 out of Tomball, Texas. Ground ball short. Escobar gets the final out. The Twins have left 13 runners tonight, and Crow gets him out of trouble. For the Royals Player of the Month, sponsored by Majestic and Rally House, both at Rally House stores, and get a chance to go on field and meet the winning player. It will be the top of the order with Alex Gordon, Eric Hosmer, and then Salvador Perez. The Royals would love to have some insurance. They lead by just 2. Jamie Carroll comes in the game to play second base, so their infield will stay Morneau at first. Carroll is now the second baseman. Florimon is at short, and Escobar is at third. New pitcher, Caleb Thielbar. He's a former pitcher for the St. Paul Saints, but he grew up in Minnesota in a small town in the southern portion of the state. Originally selected in the 18th round of the 2009 first-year player draft out of South Dakota State by the Milwaukee Brewers. His first pitch to Alex Gordon, who is hitting close to 400 against lefties this year, is ball 1.
He's got a 90 to 93 mile an hour fastball. He tries to sink it. Big curve. Occasional changeups.
He has a 2-0 count to Alex. Alex 0 for 3 and just 5 for his last 28.
tonight. Base runners, they need some insurance.
He has pitched well lately, allowing just 3 hits in his 7 1/3 career innings pitched. He gets the strike across. 9 strikeouts in 11 innings.
Gordon, 395 against lefties. He can rake them. 3 homers. He's due.
There's ball 4. Royals with their 4th walk of the game. That is an area they would like to show more of. A little more patience. They're dead last in the American League in walks with now 140. Eric Hosmer is the batter. They do have a right-hander who's been warming in the bullpen. That's Josh Reneke, who was up in the last inning. This bullpen has been the best the last couple of weeks. They have an 0.96 ERA since May 24th, the best in the major leagues.
Tells me they're due to give up a few runs.
Hosmer showing bunt. Escobar came roaring down the line at third. It was on this day in 2008 the Royals selected Eric Hosmer with the 3rd overall pick in the Major League draft. And he flew through the minor league system. Now he's swinging away, and he rips it right to the first baseman, who completes the double play.
Nothing you can do on that, but I'll tell you, it's nice to see Hosmer pulling a fastball in on his hands. He's standing up straighter. He's getting a little bit more leverage with his legs. Gardenhire's going to go to Reneke. Here, look at it. He turned a stiff front side, standing up a little bit taller. That's how you get that inside pitch. I like to see him bunting, too. He faked a bunt. You know, if you're going to hit second, you've got to be able to move the runners, and he's a good enough athlete to do that.
So Josh Reneke comes out of the bullpen, and he will face Salvador Perez when we come back. Josh Reneke is the new Minnesota pitcher, the right-hander from Grass Valley, California. He will face Salvador Perez, and he throws him curveball, strike 1.
How about that? Curveball first pitch. He's got a sinker and a slider along with that curve. Might have been a little slider there. I think he has a curveball that has greater depth.
He comes from a baseball family. His dad, Gary, was a fine baseball player for the Baltimore Orioles and now a scout. And his uncle Ron, of course, is the skipper for the Milwaukee Brewers. That will get out of play. Salvador is 2 for 3 in the game. 2 line singles to left field his first 2 times up, and then drove Aaron Hicks to the wall in left center field his last time. So he's been very productive in 3 at-bats in the new 3 spot.
He's going to hit anywhere you put him. He's got a knack to barrel that ball, put it on it. He likes to go to opposite field. But he can pull the ball if he gets something off speed and it's elevated.
The Royals with only 3 home runs their last 19 games. Man, do they need one.
Where's that long ball?
3-2. The Royals have done a great job wiggling out of difficult jams in this game. Twins have left 12 stranded. Guthrie went 6, allowed only 1. Collins and Crow worked the last 7th. There's ball 4 and 5 walks now for Kansas City in this ball game. Ron Gardenhire's Twins trying to hang around. Renicky now must face Billy Butler. Ball gets away. Perez is going, and Mauer will not take a shot. So an opportunity for Kansas City with one of their better RBI guys, Billy Butler, at the plate. But here's the thing, Rex. Now, will they work around Billy?
Let him try it. Moose is ready. And Billy can't do anything about that. Okay, that's what they're talking about right now. Saying, hey, first base is open. You know, what do you want to do? And they also, as Jamie Carroll comes in, the 39-year-old second baseman, want to know what sign they're using with a runner at second base so he can play him accordingly. And sometimes a step to the right or to the left as an infielder, that'll be the difference between making the play and not.
Joe Mauer took a peek over at Gardenhire to see if he wanted to call an intentional walk. He did not. Let's see where these pitches will be. There's ball 1.
Well, wasn't because he didn't think it was ball 1.
Really?
Guy called that a strike.
Man, I thought that was 4 inches outside. Two balls, 1 strike.
He's trying to keep it away from him.
Billy's 2 for 2 today. He walked his first time up and scored in the double by Lowe. A single to left in the 3rd and had an infield hit in the 5th.
As a hitter, though, you can't go up there saying, oh, they're not going to pitch to me. You've got to be ready.
Ooh, that was right down the middle.
He tried to do a lot with that. It sunk underneath his bat. His eyes are tracking that ball.
Throw him another one of those.
Go off speed. Stayed firm, went out away. Now we talked about the signs that Mauer could be doing. We don't know, but there's a lot of different things they use. Mauer, he's using a touch system right now. He can touch his shin guard, he can touch his thigh, he can touch his mask, any of that stuff. And then he puts some fingers down. Doesn't mean anything sometimes.
They'll try it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So this is where Renicky wants to try to expand that strike zone a little bit. Let's see if Billy can swing off of the plate. And he doesn't want to take anything too close. He doesn't want to eyeball here with 2 strikes and a runner out there. That run means a lot. Okay, good discipline there. He saw that previous pitch and it was similar. He goes, that wasn't a strike either, but too close. This one was always got in a good hitter's count. I wouldn't expect a hard fastball, although Billy swung and missed one. So maybe Mauer thinks they can get a fastball by him. I don't know.
A flare to right field, and this will score Perez. Kansas City goes in front 4-1 on a big 2-out base hit by Billy Butler.
Okay, every run counts, and especially this time of the game. And Billy did 3-2. A lot of powerful guys want to juice one. He shortened up his swing. Okay, he has a great flamingo. He kind of works that leg kick. Okay, he stayed there, but he's able to stay inside of the ball. Okay, that's important. See how his hand positions are inside? Really a nice job of fighting it off. He was able to lift it. He didn't want to hit that on the ground. So if you don't want to hit the ball on the ground, you stay inside the ball and your hands don't roll over.
A big run for Kansas City here in the 7th inning. Mike Moustakas comes up. He's flied out to deep right center field, hit into a 4-6-3 double play, and grounded out to first. Watching one of his pupils, Mike Moustakas, a first-round pick from Kansas City, and we told you the Major League Baseball draft is tomorrow. The Royals select 8th.
The Royals are competing a lot better in their at-bats tonight.
5 walks. Didn't mean to do it. He was trying to lay off the high heat. Checked his swing and it fouled off, and George yelled out to him with a smile on his face.
He's gritting his teeth. He wants Moose to be able to come through here like he does all of his hitters. I talked to a high-ranking scout that's at these games here last night and tonight, and they said that they would take Moose and Hosmer in a second had they got a chance for him.
In their strike 3 call.
Oh well.
But they get a run on a 2-out base hit by Billy Butler. It's now Kansas City 4 and Minnesota 1.
White Sox in 16 innings. They were up 5-0 in the 14th, and then Seattle came back, including a grand slam from Kyle Seager to tie it with 5 runs in the 14th. Finally wraps up there in the 16th. Cubs and Angels are tied late in that one out in Los Angeles. Other scores, Tampa Bay shuts out Detroit. That's good for the Royals. Texas won better than Boston, and Houston all over Baltimore. Final total, guys, 5 hours and 42 minutes, mostly scoreless ball between the Mariners and the White Sox. 15 pitchers, 493 pitches thrown, and Addison Reed, the closer for the White Sox, last 3 innings, went 55 pitches. I'm guessing he's not available tomorrow.
I guess not. Isn't that crazy where you can play so many innings, not score a run, and then you score 12 in an inning? Here is Kelvin Herrera. And Kelvin called back from Omaha, where he had tossed 4 2/3 scoreless innings over 5 appearances since being optioned on May 23rd. And his challenge was giving up the big fly.
Well, and it was a mental break. Set him down. Had to gain his confidence because he has plenty. His location wasn't correct, wasn't right. I asked Dave Island, Dave, did they work on anything? Did you tell him to do anything mechanically? He says, nah, this is just a mental break for him. And he needed to gain some confidence back.
He had a record of 2-4 and 4.87 ERA. But what was so amazing was that a guy who throws 99 miles an hour, how they were able to square up so many of those pitches as he allowed 8 home runs in only 20 1/3 innings.
It's because second time through the league now. Things are different. They're gearing up for fastballs, and they know it's coming. And if you fall behind, the hitter knows he's sitting all over it, and that's what happened. And so he's just going to have to change speeds a little bit better and make sure it's location.
And Rex, he really does have a good slider, but we haven't seen it that much this year.
I think they wanted him to incorporate that a little bit when he went down. He's got a great changeup, but not when it's elevated like that one was.
Herrera snapping at the new baseball, upset with himself the way he was not able to keep it down.
Remember, he's very young. He has the talent, just like the other guys. Only 22 years old. He showed signs on the mound of bad body language, and he was frustrated and he lost his confidence. He's going to learn as well as the other young guys.
Second base. Getz has it. Hicks is out. Number 1. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And in the open, we talked to you about the importance of Jeremy Guthrie. And wow, what a job he has done since being acquired from Colorado.
He's a winner. His teammates believe in him. He believes in himself. After that really a tough first inning where he got out of a jam, only gave up 1 run, he showed his grit, his toughness, and how he can compete and kept his team in the game. He means a lot to this Royals ball club.
Here is Pedro Florimon, who is 1 for 3. And the last win by a Kansas City starting pitcher was way back on May 17th when Wade Davis eked out a 9-7 victory at the Big A against the Angels.
Okay, well, so far they've played a much better baseball game tonight, all around. And Ned's able to slot his relievers in there. He had Collins, Crow, now Herrera here in the 8th, and likely we'll see Holland in the 9th.
He gets back in the count. 2-2 after falling behind 2-0. Florimon has been known to strike out, as Pedro struck out 147 times last year in AA, AAA, and the major leagues. He's making more contact this year. Working with Tom Brunansky, their hitting coach.
If his 98, 99, those are above average fastballs in the majors. But
I'll say
you'd be surprised how hitters love that hard fastball, because they want to compete and they say, oh yeah, I got something for it.
Hosmer, nice play by Eric to record the second out.
Okay, look at that. He's on the balls of his feet, ready to move left to right.
Rex, you go back to the first inning when Eric reached into the stands and took a ball away from a fan when the bases were loaded. That was a big play in this game.
It was, and there was a lot of people holding their breath hoping that ball wouldn't have went into the stands there. Watch this. And, you know, the fan, he wasn't reaching over. The fan was really good. He was behaving himself. He didn't reach out into the plane. He was just going to catch it if it came to him, and Hosmer beat him. I think home plate umpire Phil Cousins done a really nice job tonight. There hadn't been anybody griping or complaining. Look at Salvi saying, keep it down. Come on, right here.
Ooh, that was a tough one to take. But Rex, earlier you were talking about changing speeds in your fastball, allowing more movement, less velocity.
Yeah, that's important. And it's not all about getting the strikeouts either. Just get them out. Although he has strikeout stuff big time, he's young and he's developing. But there's not too many guys that are like him. Although that kid Rosenthal from St. Louis, he's the closest thing I've seen to a Herrera. Same thing, upper 90s and a great changeup at 89.
And Rosenthal, I believe, was like a 21st round pick. And you go, how can a guy with that kind of arm be drafted so late? Herrera is one reason that Dayton Moore really got involved in Venezuela and the Dominican Republic. And he is a great guy by the name of Rene Francisco who operates that. Herrera signed as a non-drafted free agent out of the Dominican Republic in 2006. Royals have a terrific academy there. Salvador Perez was a great signing by the team. He certainly is one of the best young catchers in the game. Caught herself a baseball.
Yeah, she did. She's reading that ball and it says official Major League Baseball. It has the commissioner's autograph on it. Alan H. Selig.
Here's the 3-2, and Escobar swings and misses, and Herrera a fine job in his return to the big leagues.
That's some high cheese. Got to go.
School Day at the K. This is the most fun-filled educational day at the ballpark. Due to a rainout, Summer School Day is now on Wednesday, June 12th versus the Tigers. Take a field trip and come learn about weather with meteorologist Mike Thompson and the Fox 4 weather team. Demonstrations start at 10 a.m. and then stay for the game that afternoon. You can get event tickets at royals.com/school day. And remember the last time we were going to have that, man, it was just a miserable, bitter day here at the K. I think we had snowflakes fall on that day. Here's Lorenzo Cain, and he's facing Anthony Swarzak, who's coming out of that Twins pen.
Okay, he's got a low 90s fastball, big curveball, good slider.
Gardy calls that slider the razor. Swarzak 6'4", 210. Out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Is it because of the way he slices through bats?
Guess so. Maybe he throws a little chin music too.
Well,
shave.
You never know. Lorenzo's hoping that that doesn't happen. But sometimes chin music wakes you up. And Lorenzo doesn't necessarily need to be woken up. He's got to walk.
Royals with 4 runs on 8 hits. Twins with 1 on 7. Cain fouls it off the right side on one that rides up and in. The Royals were trailing 1-0 in the first and scored 3 runs. One on a base hit by Salvador Perez that played at Eric Hosmer. The other on a 2-out double, clutch double by David Lowe. And there is strike 3 call to Lorenzo. Let's go to Joel.
Fizz, you guys were mentioning that Lorenzo Cain had a walk in this game back in the first inning. Well, the Royals have 5 walks here, and this is the first time they've had 5 walks in a game since May 15th when they won at the Angels. In games that they've walked 5 or more times, they're 6-1. Now, if they were to draw 1 more walk, that would be interesting because the last time they drew 6 walks, May 5th, their last home win, that was against the White Sox.
They have dropped 11 straight home games. Here's David Lowe swinging at the first pitch and popping it up to left field. Willingham takes care of David, and there's 2 gone.
You walk, you see more pitches, you gain more confidence.
And you get the starting pitcher out of the game earlier.
Tax the pitch count. Great to see them getting the job done.
That has been the theme for the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox for years. Just see as many pitches as you can. And I remember Joe Madden, he really showed that criteria to his athletes, and he said, fellas, this was 3 years ago, where he said, do you know how many pitches the Boston Red Sox saw last year than you did? 3,000, over 3,000 more pitches the Red Sox saw than the Rays. And he changed that. Now the Rays are one of the most patient teams in baseball. Fouled off.
Well, one of the reasons those 2 teams you mentioned is loaded with veteran hitters. Guys that have experience. They understand the pitch selection process. They understand. Look at those fans there. Those fans are geeked. I love it. They're pumped, man. Fans have a little different energy here at the ballpark tonight.
That's up the middle. Florimon. Nice play. We will head to the 9th inning, and Greg Holland will be coming out of that Royals pen and try and nail down a Kansas City victory.
Get her done.
faced these Minnesota Twins, the first homestand of the year. Joe Mauer was up, Rex, with the bases loaded in the ninth.
Yeah, and I remember there was some rain coming down too. But I don't care because Mauer, he can hit in a hurricane. But that's a great pitch, got the foul off. I mean, look at them drops, the size. That was big rain coming. And Holland is going to have to do his thing. Strike one is his best pitch.
27 strikeouts in only 18 innings this year. He pitched a 1-2-3 10th inning on Saturday at Texas to earn his 9th save of the season and his 2nd in 3 days. And it had been a while since May 5th before he even had a save opportunity until wrapping up that game at 3:14 in the morning on Friday to beat St. Louis. And then, of course, the save again 2 days later, or a day and a half later. So Mauer takes strike one. Mauer, Willingham, and Morneau. If anybody gets on Domet, this is the toughest part of their order. Joe is 0 for 4 and 1 for 9 in this series.
Hey, Holland, he likes to get ahead with that fastball. Then he's got that slider and split finger.
He was the Royals pitcher of the year last season, going 7-4 with an ERA under 3. Just low, 2-1. Mauer with an excellent eye. 29 walks this year. Twins got 1 in the first. Royals 3 in the first. They added 1 more in the 7th. Line to center field, a base hit.
It's hard to keep him down. Had him 0 for 4.
Willingham has been on base 3 times. He singled in their only run in the first. He was hit by a pitch in the 3rd and singled in the 5th. Strike 1.
All right, it's time for him to ground and do his 7th double play of the year. Holland has had those pitches that move down in the zone, and sometimes hitters hit the top of it, top of that ball.
Royals have defended well. Chris Getz with a marvelous play to Ryan Domet in the 3rd inning. If it had been a hit, a run would have scored. And of course, Eric Hosmer, he has had 2 excellent plays. One that got the Royals out of a bases loaded jam in the 1st. And that ball in the dirt, and Salvador Perez blocks it, no advance.
Smothered it.
The Twins have left 12 runners. Again in the dirt. That was the splitty.
It was. Ball hit off the plate too. It played slick, but Salvi is in perfect position. Holland always holds that split finger grip in his glove.
Back our way.
Okay, when you throw a fastball up in the zone like that, that's usually a setup for the next pitch. It's got a good split finger. Sometimes that messes with a hitter, because it's hard for the hitter to pick up that rotation in the split finger. Frenchie's in right.
Came on defensively for David Lowe.
Got to have that arm.
again, he hammered that fastball in on his hands at 96 miles an hour. Willingham with very good power, 10 home runs this year, blasted 35 last year for the Twins. And then you've got a power hitter in Morneau waiting on deck, and another power guy in Domet to follow.
There it is. There's a split finger. Okay, 3 fastballs in a row, and there it was. A lot of guys are going to swing through that. So that's a nice take. He's able to check his swing.
That is discipline.
Watch out for those moths that are flying around out there. One just hit him in the side of the eye. Okay, watch this. Ooh, hey, that'll distract you a little.
I would say so.
Especially trying to square up a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Walked it. Wow. A tremendous at bat by Josh Willingham to work the walk. Now the tying run will come to the plate in Justin Morneau. And nothing has come easy for Kansas City. Dave Island rubbing his eyes. The Royals have lost 11 straight home games, a franchise record, trying to get that gorilla off their back.
He's a heavy gorilla.
And Morneau took a mighty rip. And I think Greg Holland knew that he was going to take a rip at a fastball, so he didn't give it to him.
Took something off. Salvi called it. Sitting on that one fastball. He wants to juice one out of here.
Fastball barely misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the 9th, Kansas City leading 4-1. But a single by Mauer, a walk to Willingham. Morneau coming off a great month of May where he drove in 23 runs. Two and one.
All right, Dave Island, he's getting a little bit nervous. Why shouldn't he? It hadn't been easy.
Got a strike across to even the count at 2-2. And he's done it with his off-speed pitches for both strikes in this at bat with Morneau. Morneau, a former MVP, absolutely brilliant from 2006 through 2009. Then concussion set him back for a while. He chased that one in the dirt, and Salvador Perez picks it up, and Morneau strikes out swinging.
Okay, see, he's able to work that split finger on Morneau. Willingham was much more disciplined. He was able to take the walk. Morneau wanted to make a difference there. There's no chance. Salvi was able to keep it from going to the backstop.
And keep that double play in order. But now you have danger coming up. Ryan Domet, who's been the hottest Twin in the power department the last week plus. In his last 8 games, we told you 4 home runs, 13 RBIs. Ball 1.
Okay, down for a double play ball. That's what he's looking for. He'd like that.
Took a mighty rip at one that was 97, so he showed him upstairs, came back down low.
That ball was by him.
But he took a home run swing. Comes back with a split finger pitch, and he's down to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Man, he missed that by a good foot.
Sure did. Holland, that's where he wants to stay. Below the knees.
Royals appeal, but the third base umpire, Mike Estabrook, said he did not go, so the count evens at 2-2.
And you know, it's amazing when you're facing a closer that has that kind of stuff, how hard that is. He starts you with that 97, you know, you have 0.2 of a second to see it, let alone hit it. And then when they throw the split finger, you can't recognize the spin. That's what makes it such a difficult pitch. It goes down, and you're going to swing over the top of it most of the time. It's designed to end up in the dirt.
He went this time, and 2 big strikeouts by Greg Holland of Justin Morneau and Ryan Domet for the second out.
Yep, here it is. Very tricky pitch to try to decide from, and he went. He offered.
A single, a walk, a strikeout, 2 outs. Chris Parmelee, he also represents the tying run, and he has torched Kansas City in the past. Here at the K, he has always struck the ball well. Coming into this game, he was hitting .429 with 2 home runs in only 8 games at Kauffman Stadium. Maurer at second, Willingham at first. One and one.
That velocity is really good. He's ranged from 94 to 98 tonight.
And Greg is not that big a guy. He's 5'10", out of Marion, North Carolina. A whip for an arm. One and two. The crowd at the K on their feet. Royals trying to end that 11-game home losing streak. He struck him out.
Oh.
It wasn't easy, Hud, but he got 3 straight strikeouts of 3 tough hitters, and the Royals end their 11-game home losing streak.
It took 20 games for a Royal starter to post a win, but the losing streak is over. Slugger feels good about flying that flag. Way to go, boys. And Guthrie, fantastic job. Maybe not his best stuff in that first inning, but he kept his team in the game, and they scored him 3 first-inning runs and got an insurance off of a Billy Butler single in the 7th.
And speaking of that, that is our forward play of the game, because the Royals needed a bridge. They needed a little more momentum. 2 out in that inning. And Billy flares one to right center field. His 3rd hit of the day, Rex. And it made it a 4-1 Kansas City lead, and they would win by that final.
Oh, much better plate discipline tonight with the walks and the hits. You know, we get a chance to hear from Goldie.
And Joel is with both David Lowe and Billy Butler.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. 3 of the 4 RBIs coming off the bats of these guys, Billy Butler and David Lowe. And finally, a chance to get that home win. How nice is this just to get that monkey off your back?
It's been a tough stretch, and appreciate the fans coming out. Tough weather tonight. I mean, it's great, so appreciate it.
Well, Lowe got it. He shielded you.
Hey, that's why it's great not to be the rookie anymore.
That's why I put him on the outside. Billy, I don't even know what you were saying, but how good is this? First time with a win here at home since May 5th.
Yeah, we know we've been through a tough stretch, and we're keep battling. It's there's a lot of season left, and we just got to keep grinding, and we still got a chance in this thing. We just got to keep playing.
You drew a lot of walks today. Great patience at the plate. How much have you talked about that?
I think that's the key to our offense. We have to figure out a way to get on first base without getting hits. That's the name of the game. Team that sees the most pitches usually wins.
All right, Billy, we'll let you go. Not that you're wet, but congratulations on the night. We'll get David in here.
Yeah, D'Lo blocked me good there.
That was a good move by David Lowe, and you've been, since your time up here, been waiting for that home win for a while, so you finally get it, and you sparked something there in the first inning. How important was that first to limit the damage for Guthrie and then for you guys to jump right out?
Yeah, definitely. To get on top in the first inning, it's huge for us. Then Guthrie did his thing like he always does, and I'm glad we got the win.
What was the energy like there in the dugout? It's been hard, I know, at times to stay up just because it's been such a rough stretch, but to be able to set that pace early, could you feel it in the dugout?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been a rough stretch, like Bill said, but you know what? We're upbeat, and we're always, jumping up and clapping and stuff, so we keep high energy in the dugout.
And that ice that just went down your back and into your ear, you good with that?
I don't even know what that was about. I mean, yeah, sure.
Take one for Billy. You got as the rookie, you got to shield him, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Whatever it takes for a win. David, great job.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
David Lowe had that big key hit in the first inning, tips his cap to the fans. We head upstairs to Fizz and Hud.
Thank you very much, Joel. Jeremy Guthrie at the win, his 6th of the year. Walters the loss, and this was Greg Holland. He struck out the side in the 9th inning. It was a little nervous, but he got her done.
It's over.